Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And yeah, we're going to talk about how things are going to be worse in 2024 for journalists. If you're a journalist, watch out. Keep your resume updated because Apple is exploring an AI deal with news publishers. They're going to discuss a multi-year deal, according to the New York Times, a multi-year deal worth at least $50 million to train its AI systems on publishers' news articles.
That's really kind of dumb of publishers, though.
Yeah, well, I guess if it's the corporate owner of the publication and they're like, well, we're not going to be able to make any money off of advertising anymore and we don't want to pay our writers, fine, we'll just basically sell our back catalog to Apple and they can just use it to write their own articles.
But at that point, but that doesn't make sense, though, because at that point, the publishers, they still have their, they might have the ad rates, but they still have their company and their, they build up. And now it's going to be worth way even less because they're going to just sell it to Apple to make their own articles. Why they need them?
Well,
unless it's time to do the research first so they can steal that to make articles. I'm just like,
okay, that's what I think's going on. I think basically what's going to happen is that most news is going to be produced by outlets that maybe have a handful of bot farmers, but it's mostly just AI generating articles. And
to me, that's very short-sighted and doesn't make any sense.
It absolutely is, but I think it's inevitable because we've seen in the span of a couple of months, we've seen Google, recalibrate its search results around AI. And like if you go to Google now and you search for something at the very top of the page, it's like, oh, here's an AI snippet that encapsulates what the story's about. You don't even have to click on the links to the articles. And that's what's going to happen. You ask a search or Apple or Google or whoever for the news, AI will tell you basically what's going on. Now, whether or not it's going to be correct, that's a whole nother thing.
But again, it doesn't make sense because if you're a publisher and you have your blog X, your news site, whatever, and you spent years building it up, you're going to make it absolutely worthless by letting these people use your systems to write and articles to write AI because they don't need you anymore.
That's exactly
so you're rendering yourself worthless. That doesn't make any sense.
It does make sense if you're looking for an exit strategy.
I don't think there's going to be enough money to make that an exit strategy.
I mean, if it's $50 million total, it's like
total over how many companies?
Right.
Some company if you're talking 100 companies, it's $5 million each. Some of those places are worth more than $5 million.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
To me, this makes no sense. This would be like cutting off your nose to spite your face. It's
yes.
stupid.
Well, we've seen a lot of panicky decisions being made this year. A lot of tech companies, especially a lot of media companies, laying people off in droves. All of them chasing the Chat GPT chuck wagon, or what they think is going to be the chuck wagon.
Then my next question is, if it's worthless and this environment's worthless, so you're trying to cash out, why would Apple be wanting to spend that kind of money for something that was worthless?
Because they're going to turn Apple News into just an AI search result thing. Basically,
right,
Siri is going to read you the news.
Is it?
It's not. But they have to learn how to
They're expecting advertisers and stuff to come back for that, aren't they?
They are.
So, see what I'm saying?
Let's talk about this because I think it's going to be very, very bad. Very bad for journalists next year going forward. Now, this could be like a gold rush, and then eventually they realize that, like, oh yeah, this isn't a good idea. So after 2 or 3 years of trying it, they're like, yeah, I guess we need more humans again. But for now, it looks like everybody's chasing this Chat GPT chuck wagon. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Go out to shopclownfish.com. That's shopclownfish.com. Check out the second chance offer for Clownfish Comics. You can pick up Crimson Wren Volume 1, and previously on Clownfish TV, we still have some of those in stock. Geeky's been furiously packing.
I was doing some before we did this video.
Yeah, so you got 19 days yet, and then we're going to close it out again. So I saw this pop up in my feed, curiously enough, on Apple News. Apple explores AI deals with news publishers. The company has discussed multi-year deals worth at least $50 million to train AI. They've opened negotiations in recent weeks with major news and publishing organizations. So we're not talking like your blog. We're talking like probably the New York Times.
But that's what I'm saying. They're major publications. I use the blog as an example. Major publications that, like the New York Times, that have some kind of value.
Yeah.
You're going to sell all your back catalog to them so they can effectively put you out of business. How does that make sense?
Man, we are transitioning from horse and buggy to automobile at a shocking rate. The technology giant has floated multi-year deals worth at least $50 million to license the archives of news articles.
So they can train AI with it.
Yes, said the people with knowledge of talks who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss sensitive negotiations. The news organizations contacted so far include Condé Nast,
yes,
publisher of Vogue.
Yes, they are worth more than probably what, a few $1 million.
Yeah, the New Yorker, NBC News, People Magazine, The Daily Beast, and Better Homes and Gardens. Now, Sports Illustrated, they fired their CEO because he hired some third party to generate fake content with fake writers and.
But now Apple's going out and paying these other organizations $50 million across all these organizations and probably then some.
Yeah.
So each one's not getting $50 million. But they're just different multi-year deals worth at least 50. Okay, so some of them are getting $50 million. But even then, you're teaching them how to put you out of business. Unless they're really sure they're not going to be in business in 10 years anyway, so why bother?
I think that's what's going on.
I just don't think it makes that much sense. And eventually, you train your people. You're putting archives in for AI, so they're using the knowledge they already had to generate articles. But that's not going to count for new breaking stories. You know what I mean?
What will probably happen eventually, and I think it's going to happen sooner rather than later, because the rate at which AI has been improving is shocking. If you look at a script written by AI a couple of years ago, it was awful. It was like, this makes no sense. And now you're like, I can't tell if this is AI or human written.
But the next thing you have to worry about too is AI could have something built into it, or something that someone still can be controlling the AI, that it gets to a point and you're not going to be able to trust anything you read, because who's to say that not that you can trust what you read now. Don't get me wrong. But who's to say that AI doesn't figure out, well, if people think this, then they'll implode, or they'll, cut this, we'll get this outcome. And who's to say that, people who are in control of AI won't use it to create an outcome they want? Which they're doing now. Don't get me wrong. I'm well aware of that. But
it is slightly concerning, because I think what they're looking to do, and they mentioned Siri, I think what they're looking to do is basically have Siri read you the news. Siri becomes the talking head on the phone or whatever, and I could totally see them creating like an avatar for Siri, and this is your newscaster. It's an AI newscaster, and they just feed it, the words to whatever. But like you said, somebody could easily get in there and just be like, oh, hey guys, World War III broke out. Uh-oh, better not leave your house. We got another pandemic. Stupid humans.
Everybody's going to vote via the computer run by AI, and it's totally going to be legit and fair.
Totally legit.
But I guess it's probably as legit and fair as voting through the mail. So, there you go.
The negotiations mark one of the earliest examples of how Apple is trying to catch up to its rivals in the race to develop AI. They said that they're going to use...
Apple's going to be soon renamed to Skynet.
They're going to build... artificial intelligence experts refer to as neural networks, built by using troves of photos or digital text to recognize patterns. Microsoft, OpenAI, Google, Meta, other companies have released chatbots. Yeah, it's shocking how quickly this technology has been embraced. And it goes hand in hand with the implosion of Silicon Valley. We saw all these layoffs in tech. We saw all these layoffs in the media. Media laid off 20,000 people this year.
They're talking about how it's eventually going to generate billions of dollars in sales. How are you going to have sales? People don't have any money.
Because everybody's going to be out of work.
Working.
I know, right? So this is concerning. I think if you asked me 6 months ago, I said there's always going to have to be a human component. You're always going to have to see somebody. You're always going to have somebody oversee the bot farm. But it's getting to a place now where I'm looking at ChatGPT 4 and I'm like, damn, it's a hell of a lot better than it was 6 months ago. And where's it going to be 6 months from now? Where's it going to be 6 years from now?
When we do this end of year things next year, where's it going to be?
Yeah.
Are we even going to be here? Are they going to be bots of us generating this video? Are we real now?
As long as I get paid, I'm cool with it. I don't care.
I don't want to be impersonated. There's only one me.
There is only one you. I have
a lot of real people trying to impersonate me. Why do I need AI doing it?
Yeah, that is true. We actually do have a lot of people trying to impersonate you. They said, some of the publishers contacted by Apple were lukewarm, So they're not agreeing to it. But Apple's probably like, here's a little bit of money.
They're lukewarm. I'm sure they are.
Can we have your entire art? Hey, New York Times. Hey, New Yorker. Can we have like all of your stuff?
I feel better since they're lukewarm because they're not actually disagreeing to it. Because I'd be concerned if they were like, yeah, hot damn, let's do it. Because I'm sure they're lukewarm because they're going to be like, and then you're just going to put us out of business. You're going to use our previous work to teach your AI everything we do, everything we know, look for patterns so it can just put us out of business.
Yeah, it's going to be like John Henry.
So, of course, they're lukewarm.
Of course they are.
I bet you some of them are ice cold.
Several publishing executives were concerned that Apple's terms were too expansive. According to a couple people familiar with it, the initial pitch covered broad licensing of publishers' archives of published content, with publishers potentially on the hook.
That's even better. It gets better.
For any legal liabilities that could stem from Apple's use of their content.
So wait, so let me get this straight. We pay you a bunch of money. We take all your stuff to teach our bots so that you can put you out of business. And if anything else happens because of our bots that puts you on the hook legally, you're responsible for it too. Why would you agree to this? Like, this is like the worst deal ever.
Yeah. So
this doesn't make any, why would anybody agree to this?
They said that Apple's been trying to figure out how to accumulate the data it needs to train, but then there have been lawsuits over their rivals taking other people's writings and learning from it.
Even above that, it's vague about how intended to apply the AI to the news industry. So like, okay, great. What are you going to do? They're saying a potential competitive risk given Apple's substantial audience for news on its devices. Yes. Common sense prevails. I'm like,
what Apple, I'm telling you, what Apple's going to do is if people do this.
I can't believe they're.
I don't think they are. But I think they're
stupid.
I think what they're doing is they're offering to pay them a little something.
But they're going to steal it anyway.
They're going to steal it anyway.
I mean, in my opinion, I'm not saying they're going to. I would not be surprised.
Yeah,
why would you agree to that? Let us take all your stuff to put you out of business, and there's any legal repercussions for our actions, you have to face them.
Yeah, like if our bot skimmed fake news and then it just started regurgitating fake. I mean,
we'll blame it on you, and you have to take a lawsuit.
You know,
I can't.
Yeah,
my head's gonna blow from stupidity.
They said print news organizations, which decades ago saw their lucrative classifieds business demolished by online competitors, have been particularly wary about striking deals with AI
don't blame
organizations. Yeah, because they saw it like before. I remember when I was working in newspapers, and I started out, and I've told people this, I started out working in newspapers. They were trying to they had open arms toward the internet. They're like, oh, this is great. It's going to be just like the newspaper, but online, and we're going to make as much money. And people are going to pay us for classifieds just like they do in the paper. And they're going to pay us for banner ads just like they do in the paper. The same rates. Everything's going to be fantastic. They're going to pay for news. No. Once the internet came and they could get the news for free and they could get the classifieds for free and the ads were cheaper if you ran them through Google, that pretty much was a kiss of death, you know?
I mean, even advertisers, think about this, advertisers, okay, just for a minute. So you run your ads on AI, places like Apple, thinking, well, we're going to see more people and we're going to see a lot of returns. If people don't have jobs because they've been put out of work by AI, what makes you think they're going to have money to buy your products?
Yeah.
So you're probably better suited to not run ads on places that employ AI because, they're putting people out of business who would be your potential customers.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, to me, it just seems like, they'll give us money and we'll run it. Our AI will find the best placement of your ads to make sure you reach the most customers.
They're doing that. They already have. Yeah, they're already doing that.
Which is one thing. But you're talking about replacing complete industries with AI and that they pay you to basically put them out of business. You'd be liable for any legal repercussions. And then the advertisers would be giving them money to advertise to people who have no money to spend.
Yeah. Yeah.
It sounds like a great plan.
Sounds like, you haven't really thought this through, have you? I understand everything changes. I understand the march of technology. And we're not I'm not completely, because people are calling me out because I've been using AI in the thumbnails and stuff. I'm like, there's a difference between using AI in a thumbnail as a disposable thing. Oh,
well, I'll tell you another reason why you don't AI in the thumbnail. Because we found with our Pirates and Princess blog that certain pictures get used, even ones that legitimately you had the right to use, because it was actually provided by the company as on their page as an image for a situation. That there's these predatory, stupid legal places that are trying to go after blogs for ridiculous things, for a ridiculous amount of money for using an image because they claim that they had a copyright for it. And sometimes they don't even have the copyright for it. And other times they're just doing this, these nuisance things because they believe some people will fall for it. And that's why people are generating AI images, because then they're not going to get sued for it because you can't copyright AI images. So if Kneon's doing AI images, it's either because he can't find an image that'll work, he doesn't have time to make one that'll work, or more likely than not, we don't want to get another effing lawsuit over one of our people putting up an image they had no right to use in the first place, and they've been told not to use those images.
Ironically, they're using AI to find out who's using
Yes, they use AI to see
if
the images are being used someplace else.
To basically go do like a reverse Google image search, but they have an AI tool that goes out and it finds images similar to ones that they believe they have a right to, even if they don't. In a lot of cases, they don't. You push them, they don't actually have it. But it's kind of like the Warner Chappelle music on YouTube, where they're doing these, phony baloney copyright strikes. And
but this time they're asking for money.
Yeah, they're asking for money. They're like, oh, you ran this image on your blog. Oh, well, this belongs to so-and-so photographer, and you need to pay us $3,000 and we'll leave you alone. I'm like, and it literally is that much money. We have one for $5,000. We have one for $3,000, for images that were actually.
One image was literally on the company site in their one page about the news story.
Went with the press release.
And it didn't have a credit to any photographer on that image either, because they apparently owned the image.
Yeah, they own the image.
And
it was part of the media
didn't have
packet.
a problem with us using the image.
Nope.
So, because that's the one they provided for the media.
Yep.
But this is what's going on. So if you're mad about AI images,
bot wars.
There's a reason people are using them. It is because they're using AI to go after people over ridiculous things, and a lot of people don't even have intent to commit copyright infringement, but they're claiming that you are. Even if you didn't do it, it's a whole big mess. That's probably why they're doing it.
Yeah. So I don't have an aversion to AI like some people. I'm saying that if left unchecked,
yes, there's no regulations.
It is a very slippery slope. I think it's a great tool. I don't
think it should be the only thing it's used. I don't think it should replace people.
That's just it. Like, I think it can make an editor's job easier. It can be used to maybe jazz up copy. It can be used to maybe start story ideas
or something like that.
Fact check.
But it should not be used as a replacement for people.
No. But it might go that, you've got 5 people working at a website when there used to be 55 people working at a website. And now your freelancers are mostly replaced with AI, because it doesn't really matter. To Google, it doesn't matter. Content's content. And they've even said as much. Like, at first, they were kind of like actively avoiding sites that used obvious AI articles. Now they're like, well, you know what? What can we say? We're all in on this AI thing. So yeah, content is content. Just make sure you disclaim it somewhere that it's potentially AI.
Are they even disclaiming it half the time though?
No. Sports Illustrated.
It should be disclaimed at least.
Sports Illustrated, case in point. They fired the CEO because they were using all AI stories and making up authors and everything, and they didn't disclaim it. But gaming journos are going to be the most affected because they're already on thin ice. And what they should be doing is basically doing walkthroughs and that sort of thing. And that's what people are looking for. And AI can do that very easily. In fact, I was looking up tips the other week for a game. I forget which one it was, but I said, hey, how you do this in this game? And just the Google search result at the top was like a paragraph of here's how you do it. Now, it scraped that information from somebody else. But that's what these publishers are doing, is they're basically like, yeah, well, give us a little money and we'll let you have everything.
Well, Google got in trouble for that in other countries because they're basically using other people's website information to generate those. So basically that they didn't have to go to the websites. They'd steal their information and then they would keep it on their page. And then people wouldn't go to the websites anymore for the information they took.
Yeah, so the future's coming pretty fast. And eventually search results both on Google and Bing are going to be predominantly AI generated, and it's going to come from scraping content, and they're going to cut the publishers out. And so a lot of them, they might take this deal. They might be like,
I don't know if they would. I mean, it would be a really bad deal to make.
If you want out, you're like, hey, I see diminishing returns in this industry, and we want to get out of the digital media space. Yeah, hey, Apple, $50 million. Then we can take a write down. We'll just shut the damn thing down. You can have all of our archives and you can train it, whatever the hell you want to do. I don't care. I just want out. Somebody's going to take the deal. Somebody's going to take the deal.
Somebody is, but
because they're
it's
losing
not a good deal.
So much money. They're losing so much money.
And then later, if they get sued over something that they scraped,
then
they're going to come after you, expect you to be liable for it.
Yeah, I know, right?
So that's dumb. Why would anybody agree to that?
It's like Timmy said that Santa Claus was the 4th president of the United States, and he got it from the AI that got it from the New York Times. I don't know. We're going to wrap this up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.